There's a circulating press release that popular South African soapie Scandal on ETV will not be renewed for another season, which effectively means the current season will be its final run after 20 years of edutainment. The series, which premiered on 10 January 2005, grew to a household name, a strong contender for South Africa's most influential soapie next to the longest-running show, Generations. I remember when we first started watching soapies on free-to-air satellite decoders like Fortec and Wiztech as a welcome distraction from our own national broadcaster, which didn't have much to offer except propaganda. Watching the soapies was a daily ritual, a culture event, as the show aired at the time we normally had dinner, so the family would be sitting together, eating and watching the scandalous antiques on Scandal. From boardroom betrayals to township triumphs and family secrets, it was a cultural conversation, a mirror reflecting the ambitions, struggles, joys, and heartbreaks of life in South Africa. Over the years, with the rise of social media and live posting of shows, the series has gathered online fans who gave running commentary on the actors, characters, plot, and creative direction of the soapie using the hashtag #ETVScandal. At one point, Scandal commanded a large social media following, making it trend night after night. So it's kinda surprising, yet predictable, that it was not renewed for another season. Instead of giving it a new lease on life using a fan-centric approach, they once again disregarded audience feedback on how to improve the show and canned it. While officially there isn't a valid reason on why the show is getting cancelled, it's probably something to do with falling ratings and revenue models. But long-time fans can tell you that they saw it coming. Someone tried to fix something that wasn't broken and ended up breaking it. Originally, the storyline in Scandal was centered around the Nyathi family, which owned media company NFH, running a newspaper, The Voice, and a tabloid magazine, Scandal, which allowed the show to tackle some serious themes as well as some lighter moment, juicy gossip type everyday stories. The plot eventually moved away from the Nyathi family and the Nyathi family holdings empire, expanding in scope, set, and characters, with a cast you would love to watch and others you loved to hate. And like the title of the series, always scandalous. On its 4,000th episode, on the 18th of June 2022, the show was pulling 5 million viewers per night. While they've tried to maintain that facet of always having some sort of scandal in their plot, the storylines were no longer snappy and would drag unnecessarily. They changed some of their lead actors. Who knows if they outgrew the show and were expanding their wings, or if it was due to creative differences. South African television is notorious for creative difference fallouts between cast and the directors, which usually ends in the exit of actors. So whenever a leading actor leaves a role they've been playing for a long time, the question always lingers: did they jump or were they pushed? In a bid to raise viewership ratings, they even tried a 7-day week program to tap into the weekend viewers. But that ended up clashing with the weekend catch-up marathons, and the effort to sustain daily content must have breathed out their creative juices, because when they returned to the usual weekday routine, the stories seemed to drag even more, right up until the bombshell when NFH offices got burnt down by a psycho ex. And this was supposed to usher in a new era of scandal. The reboot Scandal, which was set 1 year later after the NFH fire, felt like being introduced to a whole new series. Played by the same actors, but with less budget for the production, design, and script, such that the costumes, camera work, and even the set design felt cheap and temporary. The characters became a one-dimensional caricature of themselves without compelling motivations for their actions. Ever since the revamp to the Etembeni set, fans have been complaining that Scandal isn't Scandal anymore, and many have since stopped watching and instead switching over to the show that dethroned it, Skeem Sam on SABC1. Then there's us tired fans who will watch till the last episode airs in June 2026, hoping for a miracle. Hashtag save ETV scandal. I mean, there are other shows which deserve the boot more than Scandal. But then, nothing lasts forever. It may have just reached the end of its life cycle, and it's time to say goodbye. I hope, true to its spirit, it goes out on a scandalous bang.